Yes, it is your side that's doing that. Like it or not, it's your side that's doing that. There's no equivalency between the right and the left on this. Yeah, okay, fine. You're not a leftist. I'm sorry. Are you on the left wing? Are you a Democrat? Are you more of a Democrat than you are a Republican? Do you move towards those types of issues?
I'm not a Democrat. I actually registered as an independent.
So unless it's something I'm missing, what are we doing? Why is she even on this panel? She's not a Democrat. She's not a liberal. She's not a progressive. Then what are you? Let me tell you, you are a waste of time. You are a coward. That's what you are. You're not an independent. You're not a Republican. You're not a Democrat. You are a coward. That should be a checkbox for people like Anna.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He's smoking his cigarettes with his arrogant self. Come on, man. We don't have enough dialogue at all.
Surely you're not going to walk out in a debate about dialogue.
Go on and make your money, man.
Hey.
Right.
Hey. That's what I'm talking about. That right there is the Cornel West that I want to see more often. This is the Cornel West that needs to be in the forefront saying, hey, I'm going to say what I need to say. And if you don't like it, I'm not going to engage in this conversation. So let me just make this clear. Okay. And once again, I really thought about this exact moment talking to you guys. And once again, I try my best to be as honest as possible, transparent, wear my heart on my sleeve. Okay. And that's what I do best. Okay. So don't take offense to this. But if you take offense to this, then it means that you're that person I'm talking to. Okay. But this whole Charlie Kirk situation is kind of weird that we're still talking about this, because like I said before, thousands of kids get shot and killed, destroyed by military grade guns. Okay. And we talk about it, thoughts and prayers for a few days, and then we're on to the next subject. Okay. And honestly, I thought, okay, people are going to be upset about Charlie Kirk getting killed, getting assassinated, whatever. It'll be conversation for a few days, and then people will just move on. But I was wrong. Okay. So, hey, silly me thinking that people are just going to move on. But let me just say this, because it seems like people are still stuck on level one. And if we're going to have this conversation, let's have this conversation. Let's just do it. Okay, damn. But if you can't get past level one, either you're stuck on stupid or you're just a bad faith actor. You're just a grifter. Like I see a lot of these other YouTube channels making 20-part series about Charlie Kirk and this is like, you are a grifter. Okay, I'm sorry. Or you're stuck on stupid. Once again, if you are celebrating, if you are actively going online and being disrespectful to a degree about his killing, not about his life that he lived, okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about him literally dying. If you're celebrating that in any way, shape, or form, I'm here to tell you, you are a piece of shit. That's simple. I said it. Hey, say what you need to say. If you have the audacity to sit here and point at Charlie Kirk said this, Charlie Kirk said that, Charlie Kirk didn't care if black people died, Charlie Kirk didn't care if little kids died. Hey, you're right. And that's why I say he's a piece of shit. But if you are willing to stoop to that level of being a piece of shit to prove that he's a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit too. That's simple. Why would you stoop that low in order to prove a point? That means you have no morals, you have no standards, you have nothing. So those kind of people are literally the reason why we're still having this low level conversation. That's simple. That's number one. Okay, hey. Now number two, and this has to do with Anna Kasparian. Hopefully I'm saying her last name right, but at this point, it's starting to not matter, okay? This is going to be a hard time for progressives, really Democrats, but progressives to stand on business. And what I mean is, these Republicans, these political grifters don't care about Charlie Kirk. They don't. This is all performative for them. They're using this to either one, weaponize so they can further take away people's rights, or weaponize this just to get some views. And it's going to be hard for progressives to stand on business and say, I am a progressive, I am a liberal, or I'm a Democrat, and this is what I believe, X, Y, and Z. People like Anna are now retreating from that because maybe they're scared. Maybe they don't want to be able to have these tough conversations. But now I can see in the foreseeable future a lot of progressives starting to tone down. Oh, I mean, I'm a progressive, kind of. I'm independent. That's what they're going to be saying. They don't want to stand on business. So what are they going to say? Oh, I'm an independent. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a leftist. I'm an independent. I'm just saying. Well, what did Lil Wayne say in one of his songs? I ain't never ran from and I damn sure ain't about to pick the day to start running. That's simple. So if you're really about that life, you will understand. But we're here. So once again,
we show up to debate.
We are going to watch segments of this. This is like an hour and 20 minutes. We're not going to watch this entire thing because I literally will probably pass out on how frustrating this entire segment is. Okay, once again, Piers Morgan is a bad faith actor. He doesn't believe anything. He'll say anything and everything just to get the clicks, just to get the views. He's probably worse than Jubilee, okay, at this point. He doesn't care. So having a good faith conversation on his show is never going to happen. And I'm glad that someone like Dr. Cornel West understands that. And for somebody to sit here and paint Cornel West as some sort of hateful person, you don't know Cornel West. I did a segment about Cornel West a few weeks ago about how he's being too soft on Israel. And it seemed like that's the general consensus, is Cornel West is too lovable. He's too loving of a person. So for someone to fix their lips and say Cornel West is a hateful person, either you don't know him or you're just being disingenuous and you're being a grifter. That's simple. So let's get into this first part and let's watch.
So what was the cause of death? How did the silenced majority finally win? And what exactly is going to tell, as well as the
no, this is kind of being at their. Well, I'm going to answer the question, but let me just note that there are different factions on the left. And I think the way that this is kind of being discussed in a way that just kind of generalizes everyone on the left is kind of unfair. But putting that aside, I do think that we have an overall problem. I think what happened is a symptom of a bigger issue that we have, not just in this country, but I'm seeing it happen globally, where there's just this dehumanization of people based on their political views. And on top of that, the devaluing of human life, right? I mean, we've been seeing images of people being butchered, children being butchered endlessly on social media over the last nearly 2 years. Prior to that, I mean, the rhetoric that devalues human life, I think, has played a role into it. But also, I just think that there's this dumb idea that all you need to do is like get rid of or take out some of the prominent figures on the political side of the aisle that you disagree with, and that'll somehow solve the issue. No, that doesn't solve the issue. What it does is it makes the situation in various countries where this type of political violence plays out far worse. Now you're hearing talk of retaliation in a violent way. When it comes to the Trump administration, you're hearing, policies that are being proposed that would limit the legitimate political speech of Americans. I am concerned about that. What that disgusting murderer did is he pushed for this country to devolve further. And I wish that cooler heads would prevail, but at the same time, I don't begrudge people who are angry. I mean, that poor wife and her 2 children witnessed Charlie Kirk get shot and killed in the neck. I don't begrudge her at all for being furious. No. I can't even imagine where my headspace would be at right now if that happened to my husband.
Right. Andrew Wilson, where were you when you heard about Charlie Kirk, and what is your view of the fallout from this?
Yeah, I was sitting with my wife watching TV. So the thing is I remember this picture circulating around of Charlie Kirk. He was debating the incoming president of the Oxford Union, and they were all smiles and handshakes. And by the next day, this guy was saying the most insane rhetoric about how he basically had it coming. So how many of these leftists have murderous intent? When we show up to have a conversation with them, we show up to debate our views, we show up to in some way engage with them. How many of them have seething murderous intent behind their eyes, and they don't really want to do any of that? They really want you dead. And that is the biggest demonstration of that, by the way, in that one single picture. You have Anna Kasparian here, and she's talking about this. The Young Turks called Charlie Kirk a fascist how many times? The Young Turks played into this rhetoric how much? They went out of their way to do so. Reuben recently called him out for doing it. So I just
called him a fascist.
Hang on.
I've literally never. I don't even call Trump a fascist.
I didn't interrupt you once, lady.
But you can't make things up about what I've said about Charlie Kirk.
You can talk when I'm done talking, like I was respectful enough to let you do. So the thing is like, yes, they do. This network does do that, and these leftists do that. And they set all the rhetoric up in the world to make sure something like this happened, and they were dancing on the grave of this guy before he was even cold. I have tweets from Destiny which are insane. The leftists have gone off the reservation.
All right, once again, okay, let me stop. Once again, this is my YouTube channel. I am going to stop when I want, when I please. All right, first off, I don't care. I don't care how people feel about these words that we use to describe other people's actions. If you talk like a racist, if you walk like a racist, if you smile like a racist, damn, I'm going to call you a racist, okay? Once again, I'm not going to worry about how other people feel if a dog is walking like a dog and I'm calling it a dog, okay? If it looked like a dog, it barked like a dog, damn it, it's a dog. So if Trump is doing all these fascist things, I'm sorry, I'm going to call him a fascist. That's plain and simple. So boy, he's like trying to set this conversation up as if like we can't say these things that they're obviously by definition, which I cover plenty of times on this channel, is moving like a fascist. I'm sorry. If you don't like that, maybe check your party. But once again, if Charlie Kirk said racist things, bigoted things, I'm sorry. Your boy's a racist. That's simple. So that's something that you need to deal with. But hey, okay, let's continue.
And it's time for us to stop pretending that it's not their rhetoric which is leading to these types of assassinations, because it is. I don't want to hear about factions. All of you guys are doing this. All of you guys have the same type of rhetoric which leads to this, or the networks you work for do.
Well, Anna, let you respond to that before I bring Cornel in.
I've never called him. I have never called Charlie Kirk a fascist, number one. In fact, if anything, we have received a tremendous amount. I don't remember Trump. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. In fact, Cenk and I got into a debate about whether or not. Hold on. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. He called Trump a fascist, and he and I got into a debate about that. But to lump in everyone on the left together, I don't agree with Destiny on anything these days. Destiny is totally unhinged in his rhetoric, 100%. I have been critical of Charlie Kirk's political views, but going around referring to people as Nazis, turning the temperature up, I did not engage in that. So I just want you to at least be fair about what I've actually said about Charlie.
There's no actual reason for us to believe leftists at this point. It's very clear that while they come out with a handshake and wanting to have these conversations, they claim, right? In reality, what they're doing is they have murderous intent, and they'll celebrate you the day that you die. The next day, they'll go after your wife. Thousands of social media accounts going after her wife, or this guy's wife, after she made a speech about her poor husband. Yes, it is your side that's doing that. Like it or not, it's your side that's doing that. There's no equivalency between the right and the left on this. Yeah, okay, fine. You're not a leftist. I'm sorry. Are you on the left wing? Are you a Democrat? Are you more of a Democrat than you are a Republican? Do you move towards those types of issues?
I'm not a Democrat. I actually registered as an independent.
Fine. You register as an independent.
Hey,
come on, you gotta at least know.
Once again, if I'm not gonna force nobody to represent their side, okay, if they have that in them, they would do it. But once again, that's not how you do it. That is not how you do it. You sit here and this guy is challenging you. He's challenging your side. And instead of saying, hey, first off, I live on my merits. I live on what I say. Don't compare me to what other people say. I am a leftist. I am a progressive. So you're going to deal with what I say, not what someone else said or what someone's mama's cousin, sister said. Deal with me. No, not saying that. She wants to sit here and say, I'm not a leftist. Okay, fool me. Okay, my bad. Okay, you're a Democrat, right? Oh, you're not a Democrat either. What? Oh, you're an independent now? Is that what we're doing here? You don't want to face these tough conversations. You would rather sit here and now say you're not a leftist, which is, once again, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Leftist is progressive, because to the left of a liberal is a progressive. So unless it's something I'm missing, what are we doing? Why is she even on this panel? She's not a Democrat. She's not a liberal. She's not a progressive. Then what are you? Let me tell you, you are a waste of time. You are a coward. That's what you are. You're not an independent. You're not a Republican. You're not a Democrat. You are a coward. That should be a checkbox for people like Anna. Once again, it's hard for me to respect people if they don't respect themselves. Stand on business. Stand for something. Damn, they gonna call you all the names anyway. Stand on something. But if you're going to sit here and cower back, all of a sudden your spine disappears, but you have enough ammunition to target Destiny, which at this point, I respect Destiny more than Anna at this point. At least he stands on what he believes in. He's not going to sit here and coward and run into a corner like she just did in this very second. That is disappointing. And once again, hey, I don't respect cowards.
Know what my views are if you're going to attack me.
All right, let me bring in. All right,
so
let
what
me
are your
bring in.
views on Trump?
I've been attacked by the left over the last 3 years.
All right, let me bring in.
No.
Look.
I've been attacked by the left. No, let me just at least address that. I've been attacked viciously by leftists over the last 3 years because of the fact that I want to engage in this type of dialogue, because of the fact I was willing to sit down with Charlie Kirk and with Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro. I'm willing to have conversations, and I don't go around labeling people as fascist and racist and Nazis just because I disagree with them.
Just the organization you work for does?
At least understand what my political views are.
No, people don't mess with you. People attack you because you're a coward. And I'm just now seeing that. Once again, I tried to defend Anna. I tried to defend Cenk. Like, okay, they might be doing some weird, stupid things, but they're still allies. I still consider them progressive. They might be weak as hell, you know, the weakest link in the chain, but we still need these chains, okay? They are just weak-minded progressives, okay? We can build them up. Look at my videos. That's literally what I said. But this right here, come on. Now you just throwing us under the bus just to save yourself. And that right there is the definition of a coward. That's simple. But hey, man, not everybody was built with a spine. I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm not going to be blamed for what everyone in that company has to say. Anyone in that company has to say.
The
I'm
head
an
of that
individual.
company?
We are supposed to judge people based on individuals. He did not go around calling Charlie Kirk a fascist and a Nazi.
Saying that you don't have good reasoning skills. If it's the case that you think, oh my
God,
I'm judging you can't be calling people
so
Nazis. You can't be calling people Nazis while your boss does all the time.
Why are you making that up? You're just making it up. You're just making it up. We're all the same.
Once again, they're going to call you whatever. Now Anna is still defending herself after she already threw us under the bus. She's still defending herself. So she literally discredited herself for no reason. Come on. Like how scared do we got to be? But hey, okay, got you. Got you.
That's how simple-minded you are. You're all simple-minded.
All right, let's go to Cornel West.
Please, where things are getting incendiary quite quickly. I think the overriding point I would make about the debate we've just been hearing between Andrew and Anna is that there is little doubt to me that the constant rhetoric on the left, the woke left, let me be specific to where I think a lot of the blame lies, ever since Donald Trump came into power in 2016, has been this relentless use of the phrases Hitler, Nazis, fascists about Trump and about Trump supporters. And the problem with constantly saying this as a group, as the woke left have done for 9 years now, is that eventually it permeates down to young impressionable minds who genuinely believe that it is their mission to stop America from being taken over by the new Nazis or the new fascists or the new Hitler. And that leads to the kind of thing we saw with Charlie Kirk.
Now, once again, I done said it once, I'm going to say it again. I am not responsible for what other people do, but I am responsible in being honest. And if I see Trump doing a lot of fascist-ish things in the past, 8 months, I'm sorry. I understand history. I've read history. I've seen how these countries dissolve into a dictatorship. I just did a video a few days ago. It happens. And America is not special. America's not, impenetrable. This is not, impeccable. It will fall if it falls into the wrong hands. So once again, if Trump is doing fascist-like things, according to history, according to definition, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat that because I'm scared other people are going to be off their rocker. Maybe we should keep guns out of their hands instead of trying to censor what I'm trying to say here. That's simple. And we have Republicans literally calling themselves Nazis. Look at, what's his name? The Mexican dude, but he's white. The white supremacist dude. I'm forgetting his name. Nick Fuentes. Yes, Fuentes. Out of all last names, this guy right here calls himself a Nazi. So I'm just saying, they're doing it for us. So Piers Morgan, go kick rocks. Go eat a rock. I want you to eat a whole ass rock, okay? Please.
Do you agree that this language, this relentless, in my view, woeful misuse, particularly of the word Nazi, towards Trump and his supporters, this is part of the problem?
Well, I think part of the deeper problem, though, Brother Pierce, is that the organized greed and weaponized hatred and routinized indifference toward the vulnerable has come together in such a way that it has eroded the sources of character formation, so that integrity, honesty, decency, and self-critical sensibilities of individuals and groups is more and more disappearing. So you end up with because hatred itself is promiscuous, just like greed. just like indifference toward the suffering of others. It's promiscuous. It will lie with the left, right, center. It lies with Christians. It lies with Muslims. It lies with Jews. It lies with Buddhists. It lies with Hindus. And human beings were so wretched in the first place. If we don't undergo some kind of spiritual and moral cultivation, we end up falling back on greed and hatred and indifference. And I mean, the American empire at this moment is one in which the lethal combination of the hatred and the greed and the indifference generates very much the exchange that we just saw. You see, this brother right here says, well, all leftists want to see me dead. Well, I'm a leftist. I don't want to see you dead. I'm a Christian.
You called Trump's administration a neo-fascist movement, you lunatic. People have gone out
You're
of
absolutely
your way.
right.
You have gone out of your way.
Let me make the
to
case.
do everything
Let me
possible
make
to
the
cultivate
case.
this.
Let me make the case.
Oh, yeah,
Will you
just
allow
made
me to
your
speak,
case.
brother? Come
You
on,
just
man.
made your
Come on.
case.
No. You haven't made the case. If you think I've made the case, then you're not interested in dialogue.
You just said this brother over here said this.
You're very, very different than brother Charlie, man. You're very different than Charlie, though, man. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I can make the case for that,
people
too.
like you that got that man killed, sir.
No. There are
Yes.
such a thing as neo-fascists. But Pierce, why you have a brother on who's not going to allow nobody to speak, man? We're just wasting time. If all you're interested in is making your money, and you bring this brother on, and nobody can say a word, and we can't even mourn Brother Charlie passing. I had dialogues with Brother Charlie. This brother's going to say, oh, this kumbaya and so forth. No. Charlie was made in the image of a loving and mighty God. I believe that. I say my prayers for Sister Erica and the kids because this brother wants to trash my Christian sensibility. And look at him laughing now. It's a joke, man. Pierce, it's not worth it. The
is
dialogue
Charlie
is not
Kirk
worth it.
part of the neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Is he part of your neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Yeah.
When
Run
Charlie himself says that he is against Civil Rights Act, does that make him a proponent of Jim Crow? When he calls Martin Luther King Jr. an awful human being and a scumbag? I'm critical of that. I am critical of that. You're absolutely right, Brother Wilson. You're absolutely right. But if all you're going to do is be arrogant, you're arrogant just like the so-called leftists you're talking about. But Pierce, you making your money, brother. Go and make your money, man.
It's all about making.
Not worth it.
Cornel,
this brother
it's all
right
about
here
making
is
money.
part of the problem. This other brother who has a deep connection to Charlie, he's willing to at least listen. But this brother's not willing to
Cornel,
listen.
can you sit down? I would like you to remain part of the debate.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He's smoking his cigarettes with his arrogant self. Come on, man. We don't have enough dialogue at all.
Surely you're not going to walk out in a debate about dialogue.
Go on and make your money, man.
Hey.
Right.
Hey. That's what I'm talking about. That right there is the Cornel West that I want to see more often. This is the Cornel West that needs to be in the forefront saying, hey, I'm going to say what I need to say. And if you don't like it, I'm not going to engage in this conversation. Once again, we don't need to be having conversations with people that are purposely going to be disingenuous. It's not going to help nobody. Pierce is a grifter. This guy right here is a grifter. They don't care about conversation or none of that. So why waste your time? Anna, that is how you do it. Instead of throwing your team under the bus, stand on business. Say, yes, I'm going to say what I need to say. If Trump is acting like a fascist, damn, I'm sorry. If Charlie Kirk is acting like a neo-Nazi, I'm sorry. Damn it, that's what he's acting like. I'm just trying to be honest. But no. And I'm so glad that Cornel West walked off. I am so glad that he said, hey, Pierce, if you want to go make your money doing it like this, go ahead and make your money. And we all know that this is all that it's about. They don't care about Charlie Kirk dying. They don't care about his wife. They don't care about his kids. They don't care about none of that. They just want to make this content just to make a few dollars. Once again, if you're going to have this conversation, have the conversation, but don't bring these idiots, and I'm including Anna, don't bring these idiots to have that conversation. Actually bring some intellectuals. But no, that's not what brings the money. That is not what brings the money. So man, hey, once again, I don't want to keep making content about Charlie Kirk because honestly, he didn't care about my black behind, so I don't care about his white behind, not black behind, because he's white. So, but once again, but it feels like this is going to be just the elephant in the room for a while, and I hope not, because Charlie Kirk wasn't politics. No, I'm sorry. And once again, America didn't care when kids died in another mass shooting in my home state, Colorado. They didn't care about that. So why are we caring about Charlie Kirk so much? Because he was a white neo-fascist white man? Of course, you know. But once again, if we're gonna have this conversation, man, let's just be honest. But it's not worth it trying to be honest and have these dialogues with grifters, with hateful grifters. It's not gonna work.
I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra.